everybody, and welcome in for your weekly dose of Trainer Talk Tuesday. So glad to have you guys here with us. So getting started, guys, statistics now show that about 60% of Americans have a chronic disease, at least one chronic disease. And with this information, we can assume that changes have to take place, right? I think a lot of people who are in this situation, they are craving healing, but they don't really know what that looks like or how to get started. And there's so many different professionals and ideas and protocol that you can take that's out there that it's hard to know which is the right route to go. And I'm just here to talk to you guys a little bit more about that, because the first step to healing and reversing disease is not probably what you're thinking. It's way different than, changing your nutrition or environmental factors or looking at daily habits. All those things matter and they play a role. It's not the first step to your healing journey. So we're going to actually dive in a little bit deeper of what that looks like.
All right, guys, you heard it there. So I guess let's go ahead and jump in so I don't have us taking up too much time.
All right, guys, so
I'll just follow up from there.
The first step to your healing journey and to reversing disease is all up here, okay? It starts in your mind, and this leads us to our first step, is that if you want to get better, if you want to find healing, if you want to reverse whatever disease or ailment that is just taking over your body, you have to decide that you first want, and second, that you deserve healing. And this is something that I see often, right? Is that people say they want healing, but they don't truly want it because they don't want to take the steps necessary to provoke healing in their body. Or they don't feel that they're worthy of healing. They say things like, why would God allow this to happen to me? Or, I deserve this because of this. And if we look at scripture, Nate and I are believers, so a lot of the things that we say are going to be biblically based. There is a point in scripture where, where Jesus was confronted to heal a lame man. I am getting all choked up.
Somebody else need to be healed.
I'm losing my voice from talking so much today. So Jesus was confronted to heal a lame man. And the first thing he asked the man was, do you want to be well? Excuse me, right. And this is such a powerful phrase because it's exactly what we're talking about.
So look, I'm gonna go ahead and take over from now as you catch your breath and get situated, take some water. Pretty much, guys, what this is coming down to, and I'm not gonna take Larissa's point and let her make it herself, but all this comes down to is, guys, you guys have heard of positive word affirmations, right? Telling yourself something over and over and over again, speaking it into existence. A lot of positivity is the focus here, so you want to be extremely positive. So when we're telling you something starts in your mind when it comes to your healing, it means you have to believe that you can be healed and you want to be healed. So you got to continuously tell yourself that. You got to eliminate words like can't, shouldn't, couldn't, wouldn't, don't, things like that. Things that are going to tell yourself that you're not worthy of or you can't be, that you're always going to be in this condition that you find yourself in now before you start to find a healing in your life. So even when I'm working with new clients or when we're working with new clients, that is one of the main things where I always want to eliminate that from their vocabulary is when they tell me that they can't do something. And I was like, no, you can do something. Are you willing to want to do or willing to try to do it? So on and so on. So eliminating those negative connotations from your mind, telling yourself those things is going to be critically important. The mind is a powerful, powerful thing. We have seen it over and over again. Some of our greatest philosophers and orators throughout world history have always spoke about these things. Telling yourself something over and over and over again. The good book that Larissa has already mentioned, talks about that, telling yourself these positive things over and over and again, basking in it until you start to see those things become active in your current life. So guys, first thing is you got to get your mind right and stop telling yourself all of those negative things about what you can't do, what you shouldn't do, what you won't do, or anything of that nature, and start focusing on those positives about what you can do, no matter how small it may be, and it seems so negligible to start off with. But you got to start yourself somewhere and allow yourself to work your way up. So that way, instead of trying to knock down and find those big successes early on, accept those small rewards and build up towards those bigger successes, because you have to start somewhere. You can't just jump all in. It's not going to be an overnight thing. It wasn't an overnight thing to get you to where you are in that condition before you need healing. So it's not going to be an overnight thing to get you out of it. So it's a lot of patience. It's a lot of positive affirmations of you telling yourself the right things over and over again, even if it does the first time, second time, third time, the 100th time you say it, it just seems like it's so far away. You got to stay consistent with it, and you got to actually believe in it and put power into those words.
All right, guys, I think I'm okay now. So kind of going back to that story, when in the Bible, when Jesus was confronted to heal a lame man, he first asked the man, do you want to be made well? Do you want to be well? And everything that Nate said, this is so powerful because it's such an obvious question, you would think, right? If the God of healing, if the Messiah was standing in front of you and you were just paralyzed, or you were stricken with disease, or you were ill, is it the very first thing that you would ask for him is to be made well? Isn't that what you would want? Isn't that what your heart would desire? But still, God asked him, do you want to be made well? Do you want to be made well? Do you want to get better? And this is such a powerful question because of all the things that Nate outlined. Because if we're honest with ourselves, most of us don't want to be made well. We think that we do, but when it comes down to it, we're not in that mental space to be ready to accept that type of blessing. And we're not in the space to be able to put in the work to be able to do that, because we know that faith without works is dead, or vice versa, right? You have to have both if you really want to find healing, because they work together. And so, I would just leave you with that. Do you want to be made well? And that's the first choice that you have to make. That's what scripture teaches us, that healing is a choice. You have to decide that you want it. And so that's step number one. Step number two is that you need to stop giving your diagnosis power. Okay? We see this so often. People get a cancer diagnosis, and they may even get a time frame in what the doctor, thinks that their likelihood to live is. These things are important to know. I'm not saying, you don't listen to your doctor or whatever, but your doctor does not have the final say. And this system was not set up for you to reverse disease. Okay, we'll just say it like that. It was not designed for you to find healing. So when you are given a poor diagnosis, whether that's an autoimmune issue, cancer, whatever it looks like, right? When you are given a poor diagnosis, you can acknowledge that diagnosis and know that, okay, I need to make changes, but stop giving it power. Stop saying I have whatever. Okay? Stop claiming that, because as Nate mentioned, your words are so powerful. And if you keep going around saying I have cancer, I'm sick, I'm tired, I don't feel good, well, guess what? That's exactly what you're going to have, and that's exactly what you're going to be. So stop giving your diagnosis power. And even though it may not be true right now, you need to start speaking things into existence. So positive affirmations, speaking things into existence, whatever you want to call it, right? These are all kind of the same concepts. Instead of saying, I have cancer, you can say, my body is healing of cancer, or I am healed of cancer. And that may not be true right in this moment, but I can guarantee you, if you don't speak those words, it won't come true. If you don't believe that it's possible, it won't happen. So stop letting your diagnosis control your life. Start saying and thinking things differently, because we know that our thoughts become our words, and eventually our words become our actions. And those all have to flow, but it all starts here first. So give the control where it belongs, and that is in your healing. Give that focus, give that control, give that attention. Don't give anything else any more power than what it deserves.
Yes, guys, absolutely. As you notice, those first two kind of run one and the same, where we want to tell you to take those negative thoughts out. So when we saying take those negative thoughts out, that's giving out power. That's giving your diagnosis power. And think about it, guys. Whenever you are, diagnosed with some terrible illness or any condition in your life, no matter if it is medical, it can be other conditions as well. But just to keep it brief, when you go and you actually start to seek help for that, and you go and see a professional, whether that's in therapy or any other sort, what is that therapist or someone is telling you to do? They want you to remove yourself from negative environments, right? Because they don't want you to feed that beast. They want you to remove yourself and start to surround yourself with more positive people, more positive situations in general, just so you can start to relieve yourself of being in that depressing state all the time. Because that depressing state, giving power to that diagnosis, is only going to, like we were saying, give it more power. It's going to allow it to take over you even faster than it already has. And guys, we know none of this stuff is not easy. We know it's extremely controversial depending on who you're talking to, but we've seen it done before. Larissa's a living testimony of it, as far as being able to watch this up close and personal, and just giving her the passion to want to get into this business to the degree that we are in now, so that we can help people like yourself who may find themselves in this position. And we want to tell you that the first thing is you got to have a positive mindset, and you can't continue to feed that beast. You got to eliminate that negative energy from around you and within you, and start to allow some positivity to come in so that you can start that healing process. And that's what's going to jump us into number 3. And that's going to be start trusting your body's natural ability to heal and taking action, guys. So from my perspective, what I think of when I hear this is, you guys heard the term that you are your best doctor. Only you know what you're feeling. The doctor can plug you into a million different machines and all these different things to determine what it is that's going on, but you yourself already know where that pain is coming from. You already know what it's like to live with that day in and day out. So in most cases, you guys kind of know the first order of business. Even if you don't know the medical definition of what you should be doing, you know what you probably shouldn't be doing. You know what's going to continue to feed that negative energy or that feeling within your body that you need to start to heal yourself from. So things like smoking, maybe I shouldn't smoke anymore. Maybe I shouldn't eat these bad foods anymore. You know that they don't have a lot of nutritional value. Maybe I shouldn't just sit around on the couch all day anymore. Maybe I should get up and get a little bit more active, force my body to actually have to use itself, So when I hear start trusting in your body's natural ability, that means start doing more of the things that your body wants to do when it is sick, when it is trying to heal. One of the first things your body wants to do is it wants to rest. So whenever you're sick, most of us, we want to just sleep, right? Because that's your body's natural way of beginning to heal itself. So getting more quality rest, getting more nutrition, more healthy nutrition, actually being more cautious of what the things are that you're putting in your body so that you can make sure you're getting the right things out. Those little things that seem so small are going to be so huge in the long run, guys. So you got to actually listen to what your body is asking for, because your body's talking to you. When you're feeling those feelings, those hormones your body is sifting through, that's your body's trying to communicate with you to let you know what's going on and what it needs for you to do so that we can start to aid in this treatment. So
so I was talking to someone earlier today, and I was explaining this, whatever you are going through right now is not your fault, okay? The disease, the diagnosis, the illness, it's not your fault. It's not your fault because you are living in a society where a system has been created for you to be sick, okay? Our food system is broken. We have and live in a toxic environment. The healthcare system is broken, okay? That was not your choice. You did not choose that. But when you start to know better, and when you start, going by intuitive healing, which is what Nate's talking about, when you trust your body and you learn to actually listen to your body, and understanding that your body has given you cues for years before it gave out on you, okay? For years before you got that diagnosis, your body was sending you signals, and you may not have recognized it then, but now you know better. And now you know that changes in your sleep, changes in your digestion, changes in your skin, changes in your mood, okay? All these different things and so many others is your body's way of communicating with you and sending an alert and telling you something is wrong, do something differently. Try this instead. Okay? It's the same reason that we're not saying that your journey to healing is going to be easy and that you should feel good the whole time. That's not true. Healing is hard. It's uncomfortable. Okay? Like working out, right? There's a level of pain behind it at the beginning, but you feel better afterwards, don't you? Right? It's science. Your body releases hormones and you're going to have a mood adjustment, right? You're going to feel better. You're going to look better. These are all going to play a role in your healing, and all facets of healing are that way. It's going to be uncomfortable at the beginning, but you need to trust your body because it will give you signals of saying, yes, that was painful. Yes, that hurt. Yes, that was uncomfortable. Yes, that was out of my comfort zone. Yes, that's different than what I'm used to doing, but man, do I feel better afterwards. But man, do I love that high. But man, did I sleep well tonight. You need to start paying attention to those things and know that your body wants to get better. Your body was made for this. It was made to have balance. Every single part of your body creates balance in the other areas, right? Your body wants to find homeostasis. You just have to put it in the right environment where it can do so. And once you learn that, then it will do it naturally. Once you put it in an environment that makes it happy and you do that consistently, your body will start to get better because it doesn't want to work harder than what it has to. It doesn't want to feel that way. It wants to be healed. It wants to work at an optimal level, but we live in a society that keeps telling you to work long hours, to neglect your sleep, to neglect your nutrition and what healthy food looks like, to neglect being an advocate for your health. We live in this society where it's just go, 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 and we've lost sight and we've lost our ability to listen to our body, and we need to get back to that.
Right. And guys, last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you off with this. I see this conversation quite often. I know this might rub a few people the wrong way, but again, we're in the fitness industry. We help people lose weight primarily. That is our primary client, someone that is actually wanting to lose weight and actually take weight off. So very rarely do we ever get someone that actually wants to gain weight, and they don't want to gain weight the way that this society is forcing you to gain weight, and that the way that people are telling themselves that it's okay to gain weight. Guys, we all know, and you can continue to lie to yourself if you want to, but we all know that when you're weight in when you have an excess of weight on your body, it's not comfortable. And when you start to take that weight off, when you start to go on that journey, you start to see those results take in, all of those people, I can't point to one, not even other trainers I know who had clients who have lost a lot of weight in their weight loss journey, has had a bad experience losing that weight and felt bad about losing that weight. If anything, people feel bad when they start to put on a lot of excess weight, a lot of negative weight, because that is going to mean that your body, your heart, your organs are going to be working harder. It's going to put your body in a stressful state, and it doesn't feel good. So that's why when people start to lose weight, especially they're losing that weight in abundance, it's just not that they can actually fit into a nice pair of jeans that they've been wanting to get into, or a t-shirt, or they look a certain way. They more so feel that way, and those endorphins are being released because they feel great inside. Their body isn't working as hard anymore, guys. In this society, too many times I see people, it's okay to look this way. It's okay for this. And if that's what you want, then okay, that's okay for you. But let's not lie to anyone else and tell them that being in that condition is actually good for them when we all know that it's not. Because if it was, then more people will be looking to gain weight instead of lose weight and try to find this healing in their life. And that's why we're able to do what we do in this industry, in this business. Is one of the reasons that we even got into it, is because we know how impactful that is to a person to be able to reverse that situation and be able to actually have their body feeling better, and that they're not having as much stress in their lives, their organs isn't working as hard, they're at less risk for heart disease and all these other different things that come with putting your body in that stressful state, guys. So again, it's always going to start with how you're thinking or how what you're telling yourself, guys. You got to have a positive mindset. You got to start to retell yourself these things over and over and over again until we actually speak them into existence. And yes, we have to put those works in behind them, but it's going to start with you telling yourself those things right up front. So I just wanted to say that because I see this a lot online of people saying that, you know, let's let this be an okay thing. I mean, we all know it's not an okay thing. None of this is okay.
We need to stop as a society glamorizing obesity. And I've said this before and I'll say it again, there is nothing sexy about diabetes. There is nothing cute about cancer. And that is as blunt as I can possibly get about it.
And I guess one more thing, I have a family member, a very close family member who I'm watching. She's killing it right now on Facebook. I love watching her workouts and seeing her stories. And for years and years and years, and she's always wanted help. She has never said none of these things were okay. But this was a commonality within, you know, our community and our family in general, where, you know, having this extra weight was something that was, you know, just common. It was normal. But now I'm watching this said individual, my very close family member, and they are on a tremendous journey right now. And I haven't even spoken to her about what she's doing. I know it, I see it. She knows I see it. But I guarantee you, if I was to have a conversation with her right now about where she is today versus where she was before she started, it is a night and day difference. And I couldn't, and believe me, when she was where she was before, she was okay then too, as far as she still felt good about herself, as far as what you saw externally. She still, you know, presented herself very well. She still had a highly successful career, so on and so on. But now I'm just watching all those things just starting to magnify now. Now these things are starting to expand. I'm watching her just the way she's smiling every day on my social media, the way she's in the gym busting her butt, the way she's actually being proactive and very, very specific about what she's eating and how she's preparing those things that she's eating. It is amazing to watch. And if she can do it to the capacity that she's doing it and enjoying it that way, then I know that is how it is for all of us out here. I lost a little bit of weight myself at one point in time. All of my clients that I'm working with now, majority of them come to me. This is all about weight loss, building muscle, burning fat within the body, getting their body in a less stressful state where their organs and everything are functioning properly, just the way that the good Lord intended them to, guys. So.
And I will also say, you do not have to be overweight to be unwell. Okay?
Yes, you don't, but obviously.
But a lot of times they do go hand in hand, but that is not always the case. We do see people who are very sick internally and you would not know it on the outside. So keep that in mind, guys. You know, like we always say, we are firm believers that everybody has a purpose, okay? You were created to do amazingly great things, but you cannot fully reach your purpose in this life if you are unwell, if you're tired, if you're in pain, if you're overweight, all right? You just can't do it. Not to the capacity that you need to be able to provoke world change, okay? And you were created for that. And so our purpose is to get you to a position in life where you are able to find healing so you can go out and pursue your purpose. So you can go do all the amazing things that God called you to do. So you can make an impact in this world, in your family, and for generations to come. And that, my friends, is how you change the world, is by teaching and giving the people tools to be able to provoke change in their own life, so they provoke change in their family's life, so then their kids provoke change in their children's life, you know, and they do it in their children's life, and it just continues the cycle, okay? So to clear this up, guys, going through this very briefly here, the first step to healing and reversing disease, it's not what you think. It all starts in the mind. So number one, you have to decide you want and are deserving of healing. Number two, you have to stop giving your diagnosis power. And number three, you have to start trusting your body's natural ability to heal and begin taking action. All right, guys, I know some of these things are a little bit controversial, as Nate mentioned, so go ahead and hit that comment section. Let us know what you think. And as always, we love you. Never give up.
never lose hope, and
Never settle.
All right, folks, you guys have a great rest of your week, and continue to put your health first.